Do you want to be in the business of selling Nikes, or do you want to be in the business of selling shoes? It's a lot easier to sell a Nike.
Before you even get to all the bells and whistles of advertising and promotion and whatnot, is you have to have a good product.
Like if you don't have that, nothing else matters. We really looked at the brand holistically and decided, okay, what do we want to be showing to our customers going forward? What do we want to stand for? It's impossible to be an expert at all of these things. You really need to figure out kind of what your strategy is. The secret sauce from my perspective was...
My name is David Heacock, and in this week's episode, I'm taking you behind the scenes with my marketing team as we increase our focus on building the Filterbuy brand as the world's leading indoor air quality company. I'll talk about the differences between marketing a product versus a brand, and why it's important to build out specialized teams to do exactly that.
Our direct-to-consumer pillar is our most established and biggest pillar, and I'm sitting here with the two guys that basically are at the top of that direct-to-consumer pillar. So I've got Andrew, who is head of the Filterbuy.com world, then Jacob, who is over the marketplaces like Amazon, which is obviously a big sales channel for us. You've been here for 4 years, Andrew, and you've been here for 3.5 years. Our marketing team has shifted a lot in that period. We've gotten our hands around it in a way that we never have before.
To give you some credit, I think you had already given us a pretty nice foundation to work with coming in, and you already had a huge business doing all of the marketing on your own. Then we come in, start to build up a team, take your goals and kind of achieve even more given the foundations that you laid for us.
When you bring in specialists, the focus on a specific channel or a specific strategy, then they kind of get into the nuances and start to optimize for maybe that channel and that strategy. So I feel like that's what we've kind of like layered on top of each other, on top of each other, and on top of each other over the last 4 years.
First of all, you have to have a solid product and service. You're not going to be able to scale anything if you don't have a good quality product or service at the core.
And we were onboarded, you had already worked to make sure that was a reality. And you could tell by, amazing reviews. I mean, reviews are one of the most important pillars of whether or not you're gonna convert well on a detail page, on Amazon, on the website, wherever you're selling.
No branding is going to overcome a bad product or a bad service. Before you do anything else, it starts with that.
And it is almost impossible to build a brand overnight unless you're already a super mega influencer or famous person. You're going to have to rely on the intent-based type funnel marketing in all likelihood early on, and that's okay. Understanding the economics of your business and how you're going to be able to scale the marketing of that is absolutely crucial.
Part of the secret for me and us in building this air filter business historically is, I have a very deep understanding of the economics of the business. I spent a lot of my early days really understanding what is the cost of manufacturing a filter, what is the cost of delivering it, what kind of margin do you have, and then reverse engineering from that what type of budget I can realistically spend on marketing.
One piece of advice you often hear me talk about is the importance of finding one channel and maximizing that channel before you move on to another channel. If you're entering into a business, I should hope, have some type of a theory as to who is going to be buying your product. And then ask yourself the question, where are those customers and how am I going to get in front of them? And that becomes your first channel. If I were getting started, I would have a organic social strategy from the beginning and really dig in and understand it. A big part of our strategy is putting out organic social content, seeing what's working, and then turning it into an ad and paying platforms like YouTube to make sure it gets in front of the right people. And it's something that I would encourage anybody early on to be experimenting with. Talk a lot about giveaways where we're doing a big giveaway every quarter, and you say, okay, well, why do you do that? We are all about building our brand. We have the brand now that we are investing in that top of the funnel, more expensive brand building activity.
The goal was leverage other people to reach their audiences, people that we weren't reaching, who weren't not even thinking about Filterbuy or necessarily even thinking about clean air is actually to intercept people and have their communities learn about Filterbuy. The sweeps was the same thing. Reach new people who are potentially not even in market yet, interrupt them with something that's interesting, meaningful to them, and then give us a way to remarket to them.
I think that both the Tesla and the Jeep, disproportionately outperformed the other giveaways, and I think it's because of that affinity audience association.
I think we can think about collaborations/partnerships as a way to make these even more compelling, right? Like we had the time to have a partnership with a meaningful brand who, have maybe like audiences or audiences with like affinities, then I think there's really cool ways to create a more meaningful experience.
The ultimate messaging be around a sweepstakes or a giveaway, that hopefully gets that customer to click on something and give us an email. That combined with having kind of retargeting ads that Andrew hopefully figures out, that so that we don't let those people forget about us when they do need an air filter. I mean, that's kind of the strategy that I see for this.
We have to be executing at a high level all of our core strategies, which might be, Google AdWords and intent-based marketing through that, or our Walmart marketplace strategy and the paid advertising within that. The reality is that the barrier to entry is a little bit higher just because a lot of people have really honed their processes around it, and so it's harder to break through than it maybe was 5 or 10 years ago, but it doesn't mean that they don't work. They're core to our strategies and something that we're still spending a lot of time, energy, and money against. Business and life are not static. You're not going to be able to do the same thing year in, year out without any tweaks and expect to continue to grow and do big things. That's just not reality. And the sooner that you accept that, the better off you're going to be. And that's why you see so often smaller companies disrupt the larger companies. And that's because the larger companies oftentimes are not moving quick enough. I think about that every year. What are my blind spots? Where am I possibly going to get disrupted? What do I need to be focusing on that is going to be on the horizon this year? I never regret experimenting and trying.
Don't forget to subscribe, because next week I'm taking you behind the scenes with David Clark as we meet up with one of the leaders in clean air technologies. I get an inside look at their operations and figure out if there's an opportunity for us to team up.
So today we are at the headquarters of RGF.
UV on coil air purification for multi-level buildings. Going to Gen 2 of this product line. That helped us identify a bunch of weaknesses in the business too. One gentleman that said to Ron, he said, hey, what about if you just took the internals of that and put it in an HVAC system?
That's like light bulb moment.
That was the induct air purifier was born.
I got a question with you on this. I want to go in a quieter area. If you ever think of a way for us to partner together, I think it's the kind of thing that we can push a lot of awareness very quickly. There's a lot of crossover and a lot of opportunities, and the beauty of it is that we're in completely different spaces. Selfishly, what I would be interested in is